Yo, yo, what's the deal, everybody? What is the deal? Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody that waited. I'm very very sorry that I had you guys waiting for half an hour for me, man. I really appreciate all of you wonderful people who have waited. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this thing out to all social media. Everybody's in the place to be. Yeah, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Got stuck in traffic, had a whole bunch of shit going on. Appreciate y'all, man. Nah, I'm here, man. I wouldn't hit y'all with another 20, 30 minutes, man. I would have just canceled the show. And I really, really, really appreciate you guys for waiting around, man. This is a day that I don't feel like I can cancel the show. You know what I'm saying? Um, this is a day that I feel like I need to talk with the I need to talk with the nation. It's very unfortunate. We had a rough weekend, man. A rough weekend. Mark Davis's mother, wife of Al Davis, Carol Davis, passed away, and for that, she is the mother of Raider Nation. She is, everything the Raider Nation. She's been the backbone. And we don't really, a lot of fans don't really understand the magnitude of what Carol Davis means to the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real with you. I want to give her her rights, her respect, her grace, and give her a big rest in peace. And also, we lost a major, major, major legend, bro. Miss Davis, had a long life. She was 93 years old. From what I understand, was the sweetest woman in the world. You know, and I want to give her her grace, her respect, and give her a moment of silence first. So if you guys will do it with me, let's give Miss Davis her grace in a moment of silence, y'all. Rest in peace, Miss Davis, and also rest in peace to George Atkinson, man. George Atkinson is everything that the Raiders stood for. I mean, and I don't know if you guys understand that what he means, bro. George Atkinson was one of the great safeties of his era. He was fearless. You know what I'm saying? He was a hard hitter. He was a defining presence in the team Soul Patrol secondary, man. He died at the age of 78 years old today, man. And there's been no official cause of death just yet, but Atkinson had revealed that he suffered from chronic traumatic empathy, CTE, brain condition linked to repeated head injuries. And the announcement came today, and JT the Brick did a wonderful tribute to George Atkinson. He's going to be tributing him all week over there. Salute to JT. Charles Woodson called into the show today, had some real heartfelt things to say. A lot of guys from Raider Nation, man. These guys, man, have some great stories of George Atkinson. One brother had got shot. One of the major guys from the Black Hole got shot, and GA came to the hospital and kicked it with him and JT the Brick back in the day, man. And to me, that's some that's real shit, man. It's real shit, man. Rest in peace to the Hitman. He's a quintessential Raider, man. And bro, listen, man, the best shit ever, bro. My man, Circle of Life Media. I love GA, man. He said, man, Lynn Swan, soft. Lynn Swan was soft, man. I love it, man. But yo, rest in peace to GA, man. George Atkinson, man. Bro, let's give our Raider, the legendary George Atkinson, another moment of silence, y'all. Rest in peace, GA. Rest in peace, man. Listen, y'all. We're gonna get. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, baby. We're gonna get rocking with the show. I was late. I was late for dinner. My wife cut my steak up like a little kid. I'm gonna be eating on the air. I never do this, but y'all will be all right because I'm starving, y'all. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to my brother Rudy Red Russo. But guys, this is the reason why. Before I get into what's going on currently with the Raiders, this is the reason why. This is the main reason why I'm so adamant about getting this team going in the right direction so that Max Crosby does not have to leave this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it hurts that, you know, our new Raider legends, these guys are not, they are not having the success our old legends had. You know, Phil Villapiano and all them guys that are still alive that know what it was like to win. You know, Jim Plunkett. These guys are getting older. These guys are getting older, bro. And we don't have that many Raider legends anymore. You got C. Wood, but then you got a whole bunch of guys. You know, Tim Brown is still around, Marcus Allen. You know what I'm saying? You still got some, right? Greg Townsend. You know, but you got a lot of guys, man, they're going, bro. Like the guys from back in the day, man. GA is gone, man. Willie Brown gone. Jack Tatum is gone, bro. Gene Upshaw gone. Jim Otto, they're gone, bro. And that's the reason why the current Lyle Alzado gone. We losing recipes, man. We need to make some new ones. You know, that's the reason why I don't want to see Max put on a jersey for nobody else. And I'm normally not sentimental like that. I'm not a sentimental fan because I understand the business of football. I get it. I understand it. You know, Howie, but it's time to make some new ones. And we got a new one in the building right now, number 98. Number 98 is in the building, and we want him to stay here. And I want him to be successful, man. I want him to be successful, man. You know, I want Max to be able to have to put the fourth or fifth Super Bowl trophy up there. This is what I want to see that for him, bro. I do, because this is a guy that loves the nation. He loves the team. It wouldn't even look right seeing him play for somebody else. You know, and this is the thing, man. You know, like when you talk about DC's career is not over yet. When Derek Carr really retires, he's gone for a couple of years, he's going to be shown all the reverence he deserves, man. You know? But look, man. I'm sorry, I'm starving. I had a rough day at work. Got caught on the turnpike. It was crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. My wife cut my steak up for me. But listen to me. There's a lot that's going on today. We need to talk about it, yo. You know, I know you guys are a little pissed off, right? I know you're pissed off, right? There's some of y'all that are pissed off. Some of you guys are feeling like, what are we doing? And rightfully so, right? Some of you guys feel like the Tyler Lockett move today was not the best move for the Raiders. And I think that this move signifies a few things, right? There were a lot of us that wondered how much stroke Pete Carroll has. How much stroke does Pete Carroll have, right? How much say does he have? Does he have final cut? I don't think he has final cut. But what I will say is that I think that John Spytek is doing his bidding and getting him everything he's asked for. So at the end of the year, if things don't work as well as they would like them to, there's a conversation that can be had. And I don't really think that Pete Carroll should be walked out of the building. Like I like Pete, and I think Pete has been a good coach throughout his career, right? But the main thing that I am uncomfortable with, right, is this. I am uncomfortable with a coach making and having autonomy over personnel decisions. And this is not just for Pete. This is not just for Pete, bro. This is not just Pete, bro. This is for every coach in this league, right? There is not many coaches that can do both jobs well. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like a lot of people say that you can multitask. Multitasking is a myth. Multitasking is a myth. I'll say it right now. Multitasking is a myth. You can only do one thing well at a time. You can only do, like, listen, you do one thing well and you move on to the next. That is what most people do. And I think that Pete Carroll having autonomy over the roster is an issue, right? I also think one of the big issues is that you wind up getting caught up in the past, right? You get caught up in the past, man. And when you get caught up in the past, man, that's the worst thing that you can get caught up in when you were talking about professional football. It is one of the worst things that you can get caught up in, man. The great Dionne Warwick said, "A fool will lose tomorrow, reaching back for yesterday." A fool. Now remember what was just said right here. A fool will lose tomorrow, reaching back for yesterday. Everybody on Twitter, everybody on YouTube that can hear my sound of my voice, remember that. A fool will lose tomorrow, reaching back for yesterday. And listen, we got to be honest right here, man. Now, Tyler Lockett has not been the player that he once was in a very, very long time, man. In a very long time, man. A very long time. Tyler Lockett for this season, week 1, 1 target, 0 receptions. Week 2, 3 targets, 2 receptions. Week 3, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 37 yards. That was his magnum opus of the season, 37 whole yards. Week 4, 4 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards. Week 5, 4 targets, 1 reception, 6 yards. Week 6, 3 targets, 1 reception, 0 yards. And week 7, 2 receptions, 2 targets, 18 yards. So, listen, we can go back to 2024. He had 74 targets, 49 receptions, 600 yards, 2 tuds, 8 end zone targets. 2023, 122 targets, 79 receptions, 895 yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. 2022 was his last year kind of on top because he's perennially been a 1,000-yard receiver. 2022, 117 targets, 84 receptions, 133 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns. Well, 9 touchdowns. Year before that, 8 touchdowns. So you get the drift. Tyler Lockett is 5'10". He's been in the league for 10 years, and he is a guy that is having an issue separating, and he can't lean on his size and his speed. My dear sweet brother Noopsy, my dog. Intel, what's the deal, brother? What is the deal, man? Love seeing you, brother. Appreciate you being up in the place to be. And he's at a place in his career where he's having an issue separating. I don't know if there's a loss of speed or what's going on, right? But what we want to do is let's look at, Tyler Lockett's injury history. He has not been injured a whole lot, but he had a PCL tear back in 2016, grade 3. He played through it, and then week 16 he had a leg fracture. He had a tibia fracture in 2016, right? 2020 he had a patella grade 1 sprain. He was injured ahead of week 11 versus the Cardinals. He did miss a game. He had a hip strain in 2021. And he came out of a week 3 game in Minnesota with the hip injury. 2022, he left late in week 15 against the 49ers. He sustained a broken finger. And he had a leg bruise in 2024, grade 1. So he has not been a guy who's been injured, right? And, this is the thing, right? And I spoke about this today, and I spoke to my brother Graf today, man. Oh, my God. Intel with the bomb. The $100 slap-a-rooney. My God. My dog Intel, man, always supporting the Wasted Talent Army, keeping the lights on here, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, my brother, for keeping this shit rolling, bro. My brother Intel, man. But, oh yeah, we got it. There's definitely a bang. I mean, it's more than a damn bang, man. I got it. Listen, man, I have to have a drop for my brother that come up in the place to be, man. I'm telling you right now, man, that junk just hit me like, oh, yes. Salute. But look, man, I think 2 things are going on here, right? Right. And I have to put my phone on do not disturb right now. This is crazy. There are 2 things that are happening here. The Raiders are trying to do everything they can to try to turn Geno Smith's season around, bro. Right? But the biggest problem with that ideology, right? That school of thought, that train of thought, is that the thing that ails Geno Smith is the fact that he's not being protected. The thing that ails Geno Smith is the fact that he does not have a running game, right? And if Tyler Lockett could play guard, I would love this move. But the offensive line is the biggest problem in this building this year. And I don't understand why a man like John Spytek that said, even in the draft process, that it all starts up front. I do not understand the ideology by not making a move up front. Even if you said that Jackson Powers Johnson is the problem, right? Which he's not. But if you think that, you know damn well that Alex Kappa is not the answer. You know damn well. Listen, unless whatever they do with Jacoby Myers, right? Now, we all knew that this Tyler Lockett move, this is something that we all thought was going to happen in the offseason, right? You can see that, the Amari Cooper move was a move that they made to have a veteran presence in that locker room. I believe had the Amari Cooper deal stuck, they probably would have moved Jacoby a long time ago. But now what they're doing is they're laying the groundwork to move Jacoby Meyer on. And I understand it. I get it. I understand it. I get it. They're not willing to pay him. They don't think he's the level of receiver that they want to pay. I respect it. I respect it. But at the end of the day, Tyler Lockett is not going to help this team in a way that they think. Do I think that, Tyler Lockett and Geno Smith's familiarity might be a little bit of a security blanket for Geno? Yeah. But the bigger security blanket for Geno is the fact that Brock Bowers should be healthy. That's the main thing. I'm sorry, guys. This is gross. I never eat on the air, but I am starving, bro. But the problem that I'm having with everybody in the building is to continue to do the same thing and get a different result and think you're going to get a different result. They don't have the guys up front. So no matter what wide receiver you put out there, no matter who you put out there, it's not going to matter if Geno Smith is not comfortable. It's not going to matter if Ashton Jeanty can't take the pressure off of Geno Smith. It's not going to matter if Chip Kelly doesn't adjust and call the game differently. It's not going to matter. It is not going to matter. You have guys that are clearly playing out of position. Clearly. Clearly playing out of position. Let me get to some of these supers, y'all. My dog Navman. No apologies needed, wasted, my brother. A true Raider steps in the building. We got to do everything we got to do to win and keep them in the shield. And that is a fact, brother. Salute to my brother Nav, man, in the place, man, supporting the channel, bro. Thank you, my brother. Hey, Wasted, do you mean Pete Stroke before or after the pin down? 1, 2, 3. What you talking about, bro? Talking about wrestling, bro? You tripping, bro. Salute to my guy, Larry DM, 4373. I know Mark is busy with other stuff, but I will be losing it. People wasting my money on these washed up bums. Yeah, I would be too. But the thing is this, right? You have to allow people to do the job you hired them to do. Because a lot of the times we're in a situation now with this roster where the season isn't even half over yet. It's about to be half over, but it's not. Get Pete what he's asking for to cook the meal. And then if the meal doesn't come out right, then hold him accountable for it. Hold him accountable. And then maybe it doesn't have to be firing him. It could just be rolling back some of his personnel stroke that he has in the building. It could be stuff like that. But you have to allow a guy that has had this much success. You have to give him what he's asking you for initially. Because this is a man who has won before, right? Mark Davis has never won anything. Pete has won every level he's ever been at. So you gotta, ye of little faith, right? You gotta give him the grace to be able to make this thing as tenable and winnable as he sees fit. Right now, for us as fans, he doesn't have that kind of currency built up with us. We don't want to hear that. Right? We are a fan base that has suffered through different regimes, right? We've suffered through, and I spoke about this today on the phone with Graphic. I was telling Graph, I'm tired of the Raiders trying to be a worse version of something that was once great. And I had a tweet about that earlier today too. I don't want the shittier version of the Patriot way. I don't want the Legion of Poon. Not the Legion of Boom or the Legion of Doom, but we got the Legion of Poon. The Legion of Poontang. Because everybody's playing like a piece of poontang, bro. It's the Legion of Poon right now. We don't want that. We want the Raiders to be the damn Raiders. We don't want their terrible version of shit. We don't want Art Shell 2.0. We don't want John Gruden 2.0, the shittier version of John Gruden. We want something new. We want something successful, and we want something that is our own, bruh. And listen, Big Mike, you got to stop. You got to chill, Big Mike, because I don't know, man, about you, but the Legion of Poon sounds like a good time. The Legion of Poon would sound fucking excellent right now, Big Mike, but you need to get the F up out of here with that crap. What's wrong with you, Big Mike? This is terrible. This is a family show, and you come in with your crap.
Tutorial, this you know what the fuck you doing.
My God, Big Mike. It's a family show. Thank you, Anthony. It's a family show. Sickening seeing this crap. Hug D says, the Legion of Poon sounds like an all-inclusive package at the Mustang Ranch. Yo, what the F are you doing, man? Hug D's, what is wrong with you, man? I mean, golly. You were up here bringing your filth into my chat, Hug D's. I mean, yes, the Legion of Poon should be called the Bunny Ranch. you guys are making me sick to my stomach, man. What's wrong with you guys? So let's listen, guys. Don't derail the show today, man. It's a serious show. This is a effing serious show. And I'm telling you guys right now, man. I'm telling you right now. If you guys start with the crap, you will be unceremoniously blocked. Blocked. Your crap. My dog Nabman, wasted. When you mention multitasking, let's put it this way. Head coaches are born, not made. Coordinators are single-minded. Count on assistants to thrive. McDummy, great OC, perfect example, never as head coach. Well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm be honest with you. The biggest thing that is missing, right? I'm going to be honest with you. The biggest thing that's missing is a quarterback. It's amazing how Josh McDaniels' offense worked when he has, Drake May running it as opposed to Jimmy Garoppolo. But listen, let's get this Tyler Lockett thing. The Tyler Lockett thing is really a nothing burger, right? I don't think he's going to get paid much. The Raiders didn't have to trade for him. They claimed him. They're going to move on from Jacoby. There is a roster spot. Now, there are a lot of people that think that he's going to take snaps away from some of the young guys. That could be the case, right? But then there's another caveat about this, right? The younger guys on this roster need to take whatever snaps they get, right? And they need to do the best they can with them so that they can showcase how good they are. Now, there's an amalgamation of problems here, right? Geno is not seeing the field well. Now, I've seen Jack Besh and I've seen Dante Thornton. Shout out to Dante Thornton, who was just on the show. I've seen Dante and them guys running on the field like this, and Geno doesn't see him. And that's a piece of it as well, right? That's a huge piece of what's going on. Like, they're running on the field, and Geno's not seeing them. And G's got to see them better, right? And I think that's part and parcel of having that connection, right? And Geno, really, really having the time to throw. Him being under duress is something that is a huge, huge problem for all of us. Any quarterback under duress, you're going to get the worst version of that quarterback. But if I'm being honest, right? Mr. Brady, that's a residency wasted. Take the Legion of Poon on a road opposite. No, get the F up out of here with y'all. You guys are a bunch of filthy bums, man. I mean, what is wrong with you guys, man? What is wrong with you guys, man? I mean, my God, man, you guys, man. Listen, man, yo, it's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, man. You guys are terrible, terrible people, man. Terrible. All you bunch of bums. But listen, at the end of the day, man, I think a lot of this Tyler Lockett stuff is much to do about nothing. It's really much to do about nothing, man, because you know whether or not he gets out there and he performs well and he's a security blanket for Geno and Geno starts, kind of forcing the football at him, or he's just a guy in the locker room, which I think is more so of that. Either which way, man, we're not going to ever know the full potential of this offense if we don't have somebody up front that can freaking block. I'm going to be honest with you, man. This is a shot in the dark. It's an effing shot in the dark. I mean, my God. We could be blowing things up pretty soon, man. My God, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Yo, my guy James Little, wasted. If we decide to move on from Pete, would you prefer a veteran coach or a young NFL coordinator or college coach? I would prefer somebody at the NFL level that's not necessarily a young coordinator, but a seasoned coordinator that has had a lot of success over the last few years and has been groomed and ready. Like, like anybody from the McVay family tree, anybody from that 49er family tree, like a guy like Robert Saleh who turned this job down. The Raiders tried to throw the world at Robert Saleh, and he did not want this job. And this is the thing. I think the Raiders need to get the stench of being viewed upon in the general public as a bad organization. People in this league don't understand how hard it is to win when you have the mantra as a bad organization. Free agents don't want to be here. Coaches don't want to coach here. Players don't want to stay. So it is very important that Pete Carroll turn this around. It's imperative, actually, that he can turn this season around. I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to go on a run where they're going to win the Super Bowl. But what I am saying is this. The Raiders are in a race back to respectability. And it all starts this week against Jacksonville, man. Yo, my guy Brandon Vandal, I don't think Pete meddling in GM matters gets us anywhere. I think Pete meddling in GM matters gets us anywhere fast. Pete needs to coach and stop bringing in his guys just because. Brandon Vandal, I totally agree with you. I think coaches that are too close to personnel decisions can't see the forest from the trees. Like I always say, you have to see the product from a bird's eye view and not a worm's eye view. Pete, emotionally bringing in people that he feels comfortable with is not necessarily what's best for the team. Like, even if you need another wide receiver, were there other options on a free agent wire to have a little more tread left on the tire than Tyler Lockett? I think there were, right? So there were moves that could have been made earlier in the offseason that I think that we missed out on, if I'm being honest. My guy Navman, wasted. When you mention multitasking, let's put it this way. Head coaches are born and not made. Coordinators are single-minded. Count on assistants to thrive. McDummy, great OC. Perfect example, never was a head coach. It's a fact, man. How do we let Spagnuolo leave the building? I mean, he's a defensive head coach, right? And he's a guy that probably would never beat Andy Reid. So I understand that. I understand, like, Spagnuolo was not a good head coach when he was the coach of the Rams. He wasn't. So Spags is a guy that, if I'm being honest, I want a young quarterback, young, innovative offensive mind. I'm cool on defensive coaches for right now. DeMokes, in all of my 19 years of living, I've never heard such filth. DeMokes, get the F up out of here with your crap. What the F are you talking about? This guy's up here acting like it's a big deal. I mean, you want an effing cookie or something like that? F up out of here. But you get effing blocked. Somebody boo this club. effing DeMokes with his crap. My guy, Jamba Juice. 2 live crew of the NFL. The Legion of Pool. You stupid, yo. You stupid. Not the Legion of Pool, man. I should have never started that. Now you guys are never going to let me live this down, yo. Bro, we got a bad version of the Seahawks, Patriots, the bad version of the Bucks when they last Super. That's exactly what I said, bro. That's exactly what I said, man. I mean, listen, but at the end of the day, and I want to kind of get off of this Tyler Lockett thing. I think that Jack Bech is going to get a lot more snaps. I hope this does not hurt the development of Dante Thornton, right? And at the end of the day, none of this means a hill of beans if they're not protecting Geno better. Like, the thing I want to see coming out of the bye week is for Pete to get out of his own way. I know that Pete Carroll is trying to win every game. He's looking at this like he's not looking at the future. The future is now for him. This is a 74-year-old coach. Like, we got to understand the ideology behind him being here and what he thought he was going to be able to do when he got here. Man, I don't know if you guys remember, Pete Carroll, he had an interview with some Seahawks guys that were in the building, Seahawks reporters, and he spoke about how he viewed the Raiders, right? And I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it, bro. There was an interview with Pete, earlier in the season, right? Where he talked about it was actually with Brock Heward, one of the a backup for the Seattle Seahawks who works for their organization. He talked about how he viewed the organization, bro. Right. And I'm not gonna play it because I can't, so it's somebody else's content. But what I will do is I will put my microphone up to it. It was Pete Carroll. It was Pete Carroll with Brock and Salk back in May, right? And he talked about how he sees the Raiders rebuild. And I want to play a little bit of it. Let me find it. He's talking about the Raiders interview process. I want to hear. He talked about his year off and stuff like that. Guys, give me a chance. If I'd have been home, I'd have had this already, right? I want to talk about what Pete was talking about when it came to, and I never have dead air like this. It's crazy.
This division, my God, every team is good in that division.
Yeah, the coaches are older than hell too.
The whole group of
so this is Pete talking about. I'm trying to find it.
So
right
many
there.
people. Yeah,
he was talking about what they did.
The same.
He was talking about what they did at
a really thorough job of making sure everybody was on the same page.
All right, here we go. What the hell is going on here? You know what happened? I think my Bluetooth it switched to my car. It's all good. I'm done with it. Well, Pete talked about how when he first got to USC, they didn't just tear everything down, right? They went out there, they kind of plugged in holes that they had, and they got rolling. And I think that's how Pete looks at this. But I think now that he's actually here, he sees that more is required than that. More is required than that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have some doubts about how honest he's being with himself about the situation we're in. And listen, I don't think that this is a total teardown, but I think that the Raiders are a lot further away than what he thinks. They're a lot further away than he thinks, man. Now, listen, the Tyler Lockett situation, I hope that it doesn't do anything to stunt the growth of Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker has been playing excellent with the Raiders this year. You know, he spent the past 2 seasons searching for ways to kind of get himself ingratiated to whomever was running the team, get some more plays.
It's not just how he played, it's how he lived.
You know what I'm saying? And now Trey Tucker is at a situation where, listen, he is a guy that is actually really, really taking off. And I don't want to see Trey Tucker's growth be stunted anymore. His physical talent is there, man. The speed is there. And he is a guy that is the future and not the past, man. And that's part and parcel of what I brought up, man, earlier. And Bodega said, yo, plugged holes and got rolling. That is what she said. And subsequently, that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That is definitely what she said. But, yo, Raider dysmorphia. A psychological response in which a hostage victim develops a positive feeling for their captor as a way to cope with the traumatic situation. I feel it, man. I feel it, man. But this is the thing. I mean, for me, right? I think after this game is going to tell us a lot. I think that this game is going to tell us whether the Raiders can actually get back to respectability. Right? The Jacksonville Jaguars are they have a better roster than we do. Most teams in the NFL have a better roster than we do. But this is a team that can be beat. This is a team that can be beat. Raider dysphoria. But no, crazy, man. But salute, man. Toasty topics. Wasted and Raider fans. Breaking news, Lonnie Johnson Jr. has returned back to practice today, if you haven't heard. Yeah. But let's see. We don't know if he's going to be able to play. Salute to Lonnie Johnson Jr. My guy. Raiders versus everybody with the $5 slap of Rooney. Geno is playing so bad at this point. I honestly think that even if we beefed up the O-line or had them playing more competent, he would still struggle. I don't believe that, right? I believe protection is the best friend of any quarterback. I believe that Geno is under duress so much, he's shell-shocked. You know, and look, Lincoln Kennedy spoke on this. Geno is shell-shocked right now. He needs protection. He needs protection, man. He needs protection like a virgin in a whorehouse. I'm trying to tell you right now, man. He needs protection, bro. But this is an opportunity for the Raiders to catch a dub, man. And I'm going to be honest with you. If Geno doesn't play, if he plays bad against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think it is time to investigate other options. It is time to start other people. And if Pete doesn't have that wherewithal to do something like that, then that worries me. That worries me, man, because that means that he's out of touch. Listen, if I know one thing about Pete Carroll, is he can coach football. But there's a beginning and an end to all of us. There's a beginning and an end to all of our careers, everything that we do on this earth. There's a beginning and an end. And Pete won't be the first great coach, and he won't be the last. You know, people are saying, but can he coach? Yes, he can coach, right? But the thing is that what he does, can that translate in today's game? Can that translate with the athletes that we have in the building, right? But we got to give him longer than a couple of games to figure that out. That's why I'm not with the burn the whole program down. That's why, if Pete wants Tyler Lockett and it doesn't cost the Raiders much and they're not giving up any draft capital, bring him in. Because guess what? I don't want to hear it. If things don't work out the way Pete sees them, I don't want to hear it because you have nothing to blame but yourself. You're the one who's in control of the playing time over these guys. You're the head coach. You're the one who could tell Chip Kelly, listen, this is what I want ran. This is either do it or get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? He could play Caleb Rogers. He could play Charles Grant if need be, right? He could play Jack Beshmore. He could keep Dante Thornton out there. This is all stuff that is on him. And at the end of the day, there's no excuses. There have been issues where we've had an amalgamation of players from other regimes, and then a new coach comes in Then certain people are under contract. Certain people want to leave. It becomes very, very frustrating, right? But this roster, Pete got an offseason. He got a free agent period. He was able to go into the draft, and they were able to have a collaborative effort and draft these guys, and now they're not playing. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. There are no excuses from my standpoint. I don't want to hear it's only the first year. I didn't expect you to go. My bar was very low. My bar was 7-10. That was my bar. Possibly, 9-8, possibly 10-6. That's a problem, bro. When we're fighting for respectability, that is a huge problem. The F is wrong with you, Anthony. I put this guy in timeout with his boobage. Hank Schrader, wasted definitely gives out caramel candy. Man, get the F up out of here. Wait, I would like the Raiders to get a solid young piece. But BTJ, good play for now. Great play for the future. But I don't trust them to make plays like this. Look, man, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Listen, I'm telling you guys right now, man. No Patrick Surtain on versus the Raiders Thursday night. Look, man, either which way, it's going to be a tough game. Bo Nix is cooking, man. Bo Nix is cooking. Bo Nix is cooking. The Denver defense is a tough defense. And I'm going to tell you something right now, man. It's going to be very, 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 very tough to deal with that Denver front seven, bro. It's going to be very tough, man. That's a tough game, man. We've had Denver's number. It's looking like, it's going to be a tough game to win, guys. Tough game to win, man. Yeah, they believe. They definitely do. They definitely do, man. But, guys, look, this Tyler Lockett thing, the Pete thing, all of this stuff, man. And salute to 131 of you guys on Twitter and the rest of you guys being over on YouTube. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. Now, some people say this is a way Tyler Lockett get a check. I really believe he's a veteran presence in the room, and I believe they're going to use him. I don't think they just did that for no reason. I think Pete Carroll I think he thinks that Tyler Lockett still has some tread on the tire, man. And he's going to find out he's most likely wrong, right? He's going to find out he's most likely wrong, man. I hope he's not. I hope I'm wrong about this. Like a lot of the moves that we see the Raiders make, bro, I hope that we're wrong when we're upset about them and we're negative about them. I'm hoping, bro. It's ridiculous, man. I'm hoping that he proves me wrong once again, bro. If we had a Raiders team that played week one, we'd have a chance. The Raiders team that played week one, we have a chance to win most games. But we definitely fell off, and there's no hope in sight. Well, listen, you got to understand something. And this is the one thing a lot of us Raider fans that are upset about the way things have been going forget. We forget that we're missing Colton Miller. We forget that we let Christian Wilkins walk out of the building. We forget that Brock Bowers really hasn't been the same since week one. And I think Brock Bowers coming back, being himself, is going to open a lot up for this offense. It really will. I believe our protection will be a lot better when Geno has some more options down the middle of the field, man. And at the end of the day, man, Tyler Lockett is a move that I'm not ecstatic about, but it's not a move. It's a move I understand. I get it. I get it. You want your guy in, Pete, you got your guy. But the thing is that you got to wear that. You got to wear that. It takes time to turn a roster around, and I get it. So you got to wear it. The thing about it is you got to do what's right and not what's popular sometimes, though, Pete. And I haven't seen him doing that. KL Raider, he goes, I rewatched the Chiefs game. The refs destroyed the Raiders with all them BS flags. The score should have been 13-0 at the half. It was 21-0. And that's a piece too. That's a piece too, right? But the thing is that everybody understands when you play the Kansas City Chiefs, it's 11-12 or 11-13. Everybody, it is a confirmed fact that the Chiefs get favored from the refs. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And you got to understand that. You can't let the refs be the reason why you lose. You got to go out there and beat them in spite of that. But guys, listen, man. I think it's time for me to reel the train back into the train station. It's a rough day at work. It's been a rough day for Raider Nation. Rest in peace to George Atkinson. Rest in peace to Carol Davis. Also, rest in peace to Nick Mangold. Nick Mangold, the longtime center for the Jets. Rest in peace. Nick Mangold was a good guy. Met him before. Great guy. You guys are saying this is a great show. I don't necessarily know if it is. I am I'm tired, man. I'm beat, man. Love every single one of y'all. We're going to be rocking and rolling all week, though. But yeah, your boy Wasted. I'm tired, man. I need to take it down, man. I need to take it down, man. I appreciate y'all. I just couldn't miss the show, man. I love every single one of y'all, man. Yo, I hate to say it, Wasted, but that field goal block against the Bears showed me how our season might go. I think we are the only team that would have allowed that. You know, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. And y'all listen, man, before y'all go, the reason why I'm even able to come on the air is because I had my Apex today. Going over to menoforder.com, get 15% off of the best supplements known to man. Use promo code WASTED in capital letters. Get 15% off. My guy, Raiders versus everybody. Shell shock is Gino's identity. Don't quote me on this, but I guarantee you when it comes to unscripted plays, Gino is at the bottom of the list. The guy can't create to save his life. The thing about it is this, bro. And I'm gonna say this. Geno Smith is only as good as his protection is. Some quarterbacks can play under duress. Geno's getting older. You got to protect him first before you start just condemning the guy. And Geno's played like crap. And no matter what, he's got to adapt. He's a veteran, right? But at the end of the day, bro, our offensive line and the middle of that offensive line has been terrible. And he's had somebody in his face and in his lap almost every 80% of the plays, right? So that goes back to scheming. What can Chip Kelly do to help him? Can he keep a tight end with his hand on the ground to block for him? Can he bring in an extra offensive lineman and use him as an eligible receiver or as a second tight end with some jumbo stuff? Can you roll Geno out and get him out in the pocket in space so that he has space to complete the throw? A lot of that shit is play calling as well. So at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to throw everything in Geno's lap. This is not a great situation. This is a 4-13 team, and they're looking every bit of being 4-13 last year. They are. And the only thing that's changed is the coach and the GM. And you know, that's the only thing that's changed. But the roster has turned over, but there's a lot of the same players. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. This is an amalgamation of problems that the Raiders need to solve. But we're not going to solve them right now. We're going to have to see what happens at the end of the season. We're going to have to see what happens at the trade deadline. We're going to have to see what happens during the draft and what they do in free agency, how they address all these holes. And we got to see whether or not Pete is on board to drafting a quarterback. Because if you look at the crux of the Raiders' problems over the last 20 years, it is not taking the time and the care to draft enough QBs. And you see how the Patriots have turned it around because they have a stud young quarterback. And hopefully the Raiders try to do the same thing, man. Listen, guys, I love every single one of y'all, man. My dog Nada in the place to be. I'm getting out of here. I'm tired. I'll give you guys a little word on AOC tomorrow. But, guys, you guys have a terrific, terrific night, man. And Jesse Felix, you are blocked for the rest of the show asking about the effing Dodgers. F you. You guys have a terrific night. We'll be back tomorrow with it, man. Peace, man. We up out of here.